There is a song that I have been loving to sing. It is Firm Foundation by Maverick City Music. It reads, Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand. For everything around me is shaken. I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus, because he's never let me down. He's faithful through generations, so why would he fail now? He won't. I've still got joy in chaos. I've got peace that makes no sense. I won't be going under. I'm not held by my own strength because I build my life on Jesus. He's never let me down. He's faithful through every season. So why would he fail now? He won't. Is that just flowery speech, or can we actually have joy in chaos? Can we have joy in chaos? Can we have joy in chaos? The dictionary definition of chaos is the state of utter confusion, inherent unpredictability. It's synonymous with chance, disorder, havoc, confusion. And those words can definitely be used to describe the day and age in which we live in the world. Of course, every generation says that. But even more so, those words describe some of our individual lives between all of the things we are a part of: work and kids and church and work and car maintenance and paying bills and house repairs and work. And somewhere in there, we have to find time to eat and sleep and exercise and have meaningful relationships. I know I personally can struggle with a sense of overwhelm and stress and anxiety with everything going on in my life. I am sure you can too. The feelings remind me of an experience I had, an opportunity I had while I was in the Air Force to actually ride in a jet trainer. After less than 30 minutes of high-speed acrobatic maneuvers, we landed. I got out of the plane and I literally had to crawl on all fours across the tarmac back to the terminal. The pilot just laughed at me and left me there to suffer, because most people have that a similar experience as I did, and at least I wasn't throwing up all over the place. I was not used to the level of physical stress and the equilibrium strain on my body that anchoring myself to the ground with as many points as possible was the only way that I was able to move forward. I have had days and weeks and months and even years where I felt that same kind of pressure and environmental change that had my equilibrium spinning out of control. And even today, I deal with it in the same way. I get on my hands and knees and anchor myself to my firm foundation. One of those anchoring points is praise and worship. I get alone with my music playlist and I just worship the Lord. Another anchor is time in prayer. Another anchor is confessing positive Bible-based declarations over myself. And finally, I get into the Bible and encourage myself in faith from the Word. These four things: two hands and two knees, so it's easy to remember when the pressure is on. In Matthew 7:24 through 27, it says, anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on solid rock. Though the rain comes in torrents and the flood waters rise and the winds beat against the house, it won't collapse because it is founded on the rock. But anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey, it is foolish, like a person who builds a house on sand. When the rains and the floods come and the winds beat against that house, it will collapse with a mighty crash. Let's think about that for a minute. Last week, I was trying to define the difference between joy and happiness. I had mused that maybe the difference is not as much in the meaning, but in the source. What is causing that gladness emotion? What a funny thing to have to think about. But the fact is that the same root word for happiness, the same root word is happening, indicating that the emotional feeling is derived from something that happens. And things happening in our life is like that sifting sand. It's here, it's there, it's in your shoes, it's in your hair, and it can change just like that. So, if our emotional state of gladness is based on outward happenings affecting our inward state of being, it can come and go, and quite quickly. However, if our joy, our gladness comes from a source that does not change like shifting sands, that neither slumbers nor sleeps, that is the same yesterday, today, and will be the same tomorrow, that joy sounds like a firm foundation. If I anchor my joy to this foundation with as many anchor points as I can, like the four I mentioned earlier, I believe I can have joy in chaos. That is joy not based on the outside affecting me inwardly. It is based on the inside and radiates outward. The fruit of the Spirit operating in your life should be a radiating of joy that is not based on your physical surroundings. Paul says in Philippians 4:4, rejoice in the Lord always. And I say it again, rejoice. Rejoice is synonymous with delight, exult, joy, exuberate, jubilate, triumph. Paul tells us to rejoice, to have joy always. And the source of joy is in the Lord. So there is a joy that we can have in any circumstance. Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand. When everything round me's shaken, I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus, 'cause he's never let me down. He's faithful through generations. So why would he fail now? He won't. I've still got joy in chaos. I've got peace that makes no sense. I won't be going under. I'm not held by my own strength. 'Cause I build my life on Jesus. He's never let me down. He's faithful through every season. So why would he fail now? He won't. I am Tim Graham, and this is my video podcast, Next Level Strategies. Next week, we're going to be discussing what C.S. Lewis calls the most serious business of heaven. But until then, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say, rejoice.